Some sacrifices have to be done on the bank of a river. Sometimes this Shraddha ceremony, especially when death actually happens. So, let's say an elderly person dies, then his son has to do the Shraddha. Then some particular rituals of the Shraddha, they have to take bath some 48 times. So when my mother passed away, then I had called one priest. So he was telling me the actual procedure. I'll explain to you, because I asked him, tell me some details. Simply they tell something, you put this, you do this, we just do it and just be done with it. I said, I want to know, understand, to some degree at least. So then he told, actually, for some particular ritual, you have to take bath 48 times. So I said, how is it practical? So he said, that's why such rituals are performed on the bank of a river or a lake. So you just go dip and come back. Again do something, again go dip, come back. Because taking a bath is required for purification. Not only gross purification, but also subtle purification. Pacify the mind. Steady the intelligence. All these effects are there. Taking a bath is not just for external cleanliness. And devotees, when they take a bath, they always remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yasmaret Pundari Kaksham Sabahya Abhyantara Shuchihi. You become externally and internally cleansed simply by remembering Krishna. Similarly, if you take bath in Ganga Jal or any sacred river, Godavari, Krishna river, then it has, of course, it cleanses you externally, but more importantly, internally also you get cleansed. You get internally also cleansed. So all those restrictions for performing certain yajnas, especially fire sacrifices, are not there for performing Sankirtan yajna. This we have to remember, always remember. So always in Kali Yuga, primarily people have to do Sankirtan yajna. Sometimes people ask, why you do Narsimha yajna? Actually, even if we do Narsimha yajna, we are actually worshipping Narsimha through performance of a fire sacrifice, in which primary activity is chanting the names of Narsimha. Srila Jiva Goswami explains, in Kali Yuga, everyone should perform Sankirtan yajna, chanting of the names of the Supreme Lord. But in case they are doing some other yajna, the chanting of the holy name must accompany all other types of sacrifices. This is very, very important point. That's what the scriptures say. Then, if somebody is performing, let's say, some fire sacrifice, if along with that there is a chanting of the holy name, then whatever deficiencies may be there in the fire sacrifice, that is made good simply by chanting the holy names of Krishna. Simply by chanting the holy name, everything becomes perfect. So the desired result is very easily obtained by Sankirtan Yajna, by chanting the holy name. Guaranteed results, guaranteed, 100% guaranteed. So therefore, Sankirtan Yajna should be always performed, and chanting of the holy name should accompany all other types of yajnas. Chanting of the holy name should accompany that other yajnas. So this Parikshit Maharaj, he not only had performed one horse sacrifice, he had performed many horse sacrifices. So he was very strictly following the religious principles, what is mentioned in the scriptures. The Bhagavad Gita, what is mentioned as the qualities by which a Kshatriya works? 43rd verse of the 18th chapter. Teja Shaurya Dhritir Daksham Yuddhe Chapi Apalayanam Danam Ishvara Bhavascha Kshatra Karma Swabhavacha. Read the translation. Mahakratu. Heroism. Power. Determination. Resourcefulness. Courage in battle. Generosity. And leadership. These are the qualities by which Kshatriya should work. So, Parikshit Maharaj had all these qualifications. All these qualifications. And he was strictly following the religious principles in doing his duties. So such a king you have cursed. It's very, very wrong. Very wrong. And especially when he was tired and fatigued and he was stricken with hunger and thirst. Then you should pardon him. You should pardon him. You should not curse him. For our own good, the saintly persons, if they have to do their saintly duties, they have to be protected by the king. Otherwise, demons like Hiranyakashipu and Ravana and their associates, they will create so much trouble for the saintly persons. This is one of the demoniac qualities. What is that? Unnecessarily harass saintly people. Unnecessarily. Just like Hiranyakashipu, when his brother was killed by Lord Vishnu, he became very angry against Vishnu. So he said, it is unjust on part of Vishnu to kill my brother. Your brother is doing all nonsense. That he is not taking into consideration at all. What did my brother do? All nonsense. He has hidden the earth planet, which is the place of residence for so many living beings, in the Rasatala region. That is okay. And when the Lord appeared to rescue the earth, he just went straight into the ocean and then he lifted the earth and wanted to put it back in its place. Now this Hiranyaksha is telling you cannot take away the earth like that without defeating me. And he challenged. So when he challenged, the Lord had to fight, isn't it? So in the fighting, naturally he was killed. But Hiranyakashipu became angry. And then he's searching. Where is Vishnu? And he could not find Vishnu. So then he is telling his associates, go and set fire to all villages where saintly persons are engaged in performing sacrifices, in worshipping deity of Vishnu, or in any religious activities according to Shastra. All such activities, wherever it's going on, set fire to such villages. Kill the people, disturb them, destroy them. This is demonic nature. What is their fault? They are living peacefully. They are only doing a good to others. Unlike you, demoniac persons. They don't do any bad to anybody. Saintly persons. So why do you want to disturb them unnecessarily? This is called demoniac nature. Asuri Swabhav. So in the Bhagavad Gita, there is one chapter which describes the three modes of material nature, 14th chapter. And in that chapter it is explained that by the influence of the three gunas, people have different characteristics, qualities. So tamoguna influence, there are so many negative qualities, tamoguna influence. But demoniac nature is different from influence of tamoguna. Please understand this carefully. 16th chapter describes divine and demoniac qualities or natures. So somebody may be a sattvic person, but he may be of demoniac nature. Somebody else may be tamasic nature, but maybe a divine natured person. So simply because somebody is tamasic natured person doesn't mean that necessarily they are demoniac. No. Jarasandha, he was of demoniac quality. But he was always respectful to Brahmanas. He was respectful to Brahmanas. And he followed the principle of always giving dana to Brahmanas. So that is one of the sattvic qualities. Sattvic qualities. And to give dana as prescribed in the Shastra. Sattvic quality. So if you study that 14th chapter, Sattvic people, they follow the scriptures very nicely, rigidly. So this Jarasandha, he always used to properly give dana according to scriptural directions. But as far as his qualities are concerned, whether divine qualities or demoniac qualities, he had demoniac qualities. You see? Sometimes Indra, who's actually divine natured person, he gets carried away by some lust or greed or anger and he behaves very badly. Once when Diti was pregnant, he decided to enter her womb and kill the embryo. Very, very bad, no? Indra, divine natured person. How is he doing that? So, the influence of the gunas, a divine natured person may act very, very badly, or a demoniac natured person may act very nicely. Just like Kamsa, he is a number one demon. But when Vasudeva appealed to him, said, don't kill Devaki. Whoever are the sons born of Devaki, I will hand over them to you. So you will be safe. Why are you killing Devaki? You are no danger from her. Only her sons, no. As soon as the child is born, I will hand over. So Kamsa said, okay. He did not kill Devaki. The first son was born, and Vasudeva, even though with a heavy heart, he had promised to Kamsa that I will hand over the son. He did not want to hand over. But still, as a matter of keeping the promise, with a heavy heart, he went and took the child and handed over to Kamsa. Kamsa saw Vasudeva bringing that newly born child and handing over. Kamsa developed so much compassion on Vasudeva. He said, I have no danger from this son. You take him away. I have no danger from this child. So Vasudeva knew that this Kamsa is demoniac natured. So he did not trust this action of Kamsa. Within his heart, of course, he took back the child, but within his heart he was thinking that this Kamsa, sentimentally he is telling, I will not kill this child, but there is no safety or danger, freedom from danger. It is not out of danger, this child. And as Vasudeva had suspected, the next day when Kamsa called all his ministers and counselors, all demoniac natured people, immediately they said, why did you spare that child? Any of the children there could be danger. Should not spare any child. Every child you must kill. And immediately Kamsa ordered, arrest Vasudeva and Devaki. And that first child whom he had spared, immediately killed that child as soon as they were arrested. So this is demoniac nature. So you should learn to distinguish between demoniac natured people and divine natured people as against the influence of the gunas. A conditioned soul will be influenced by the gunas and will behave according to the gunas' influence. But the difference is, a divine natured person, even if he is carried away sometimes by the lower modes, when he is instructed or is in good association, when he is corrected, immediately he will correct. When Indra entered the womb of Diti to kill the embryo, those children within the womb, they began to cry when Indra went to attack, and they appealed to Indra, please don't kill us. Indra immediately he resisted from killing. Immediately. And he came out of Diti's womb and begged forgiveness from Diti, his aunt, his mother's sister, that I cheated you, I tricked you to enter your womb and kill your children. But it is very wrong on my part to have done that. Please forgive me. And Diti also immediately forgave Indra. So, a divine-natured person can be corrected, even if he is sometimes carried away by some influence of lower modes. But a demoniac-natured person cannot be corrected by any means to give up demoniac nature. Not possible. Prahlad's father, Hiranyakashipu, so much his associates were pleading with him that Prahlad is such a nice boy. Why do you want to torture him? So much. Even Prahlad's mother also. She was appealing to her husband. Small boy, why do you want to torture him? Just because he is chanting the name of God, your enemy. Why do you want to give him so much trouble? But Hiranyakashipu would not listen to anybody. Would not listen to anybody. He could not be changed. His nature could not be changed. So please remember this difference between demoniac nature and influence of the gunas. Carefully study the Bhagavad Gita to understand this difference. So here it is explained that he made a mistake. Parikshit made a mistake. Yes, he shouldn't have garlanded Shamika Rishi with that dead snake. Not correct. But he can be pardoned because he was fatigued, tired, stricken with hunger and thirst. He made a small mistake. So for a small mistake, you have cursed him to die. You cursed him to die. That is not at all proper. So in the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam, 26th chapter, there is a description by Shukadeva Goswami of hellish planets. Parikshit Maharaj asks, kindly describe the hellish planets. He asks for a description of all the different planets in this universe. And he also asks for description of hellish planets. So Shukadeva Goswami described 26 kinds of hell. And there, while describing one type of hell, punishment in one type of hell, he says, human beings, because they have developed intelligence, they should be compassionate to small creatures, like some small flies, small insects. If they don't show compassion, if some insect comes and bites you, immediately you kill that insect before it can fly away. It happens, no? Sometimes mosquito bites, you kill the mosquito. You know what does the Shastra say? You are punishable in one type of hell for that act of killing a mosquito. Have you read that? Has anybody read this?
Reaction will be there, but
what is the reaction? Punishment in hell. Open. You got mobile, no? 5th chapter, 26th verse, 5th canto, last chapter. What is the punishment for killing such insignificant insects which just come and just bother you or disturb you a little. It is just like somebody comes and pricks you with a pin and then death sentence for him. Is that fair? You pricked him with a pin, no. So what is the punishment? Kill him. Is that fair? Is it proper? Like that, what is what we are doing, killing a mosquito. Go through the translations. 17th. Okay, read that.
By the arrangement of Supreme Lord, low-grade living beings like bugs and mosquitoes suck the blood of human beings and other animals. Such insignificant creatures are unaware of their bites, are painful to the human being.
They are unaware. The mosquito doesn't have an understanding that it's its sustenance. It comes and bites and sucks the blood. But it is unaware. So, read for. However,
first-class human beings, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, are developed in consciousness and therefore they know how painful it is to be killed. A human being endowed with knowledge certainly commits sin if he kills or torments insignificant creatures. We have no discrimination. The Supreme Lord punishes such a man by putting him into the hell known as Andhakupa.
Andhakupa. And what is that punishment? Read that. Andhakupa.
Where he is attacked by all the birds and beasts, reptiles, mosquitoes, lice, worms, flies, and many other creatures he tormented during his life. They attack him from all sides, robbing him of the pleasure of sleep. Unable to rest, he constantly wanders about in the darkness. Thus, in Andhakupa, his suffering is just like that of a creature in the lower species.
This is punishment.
One more is
Read that.
one who in this world or this life is very proud of his wealth, always thinks I am so rich, who can equal me? His vision is twisted, and he is always afraid that someone will take his wealth. Indeed, he even suspects his superiors. His face and heart dry up to the thought of losing the wealth, and therefore he is always looks like a rich friend. He is not in any way able to obtain actual happiness, and he does not know what is to be free from anxiety. Because of the sinful things he does to earn money, augment his wealth, and protect, he is put into a hell called Suchimukha, where the officials of Maharaj punish him by stitching thread throughout his body like weaver manufacturing.
So, we should actually be very careful. See, why I am giving this example in the 5th canto is Shamika Rishi is telling his son, for a small mistake, you have cursed him to die. And who? The king, Mahabhagavata. And he is Dharmapalaha and Brihatshravaha and Rajarshi, one who has performed many horse sacrifices. So very, very big mistake. Very big mistake. So Prabhupada says in the purport, although all the Brahmanas were aloof from this incident, still for the childish action of a Brahmana boy, young boy, 8-year-old boy, the whole world situation was changed. Thus Rishi Shamika, a Brahmana, took responsibility for all deterioration of the good orders of the world, just because this Brahmana boy cursed a Rajarshi, Mahabhagavata. Therefore, Brahmanas in Kali Yuga suffer in so many ways. Brahmanas in Kali Yuga suffer in a lot of ways. Just because this Brahmana boy wrongly cursed a Mahabhagavata king. Okay, I'll stop here. Any questions?
This regarding Sikh Maharaj, there is one pastime of Prabhupada where Prabhupada will be having massage and mosquito. So before biting, those disciples who were around him, they tried to kill. Then Prabhupada said, "No, don't kill. It's an innocent living entity." But after biting Prabhupada, Prabhupada says, "Now you can kill." Because he has been.
Will not, when it is getting attacked, the mosquito is trying to bite. So then Prabhupada says, now attack. He say attack, not kill. He never say kill, he not kill, attack.
Basically, such mosquitoes and all, we have to drive them away. So in our Vedic culture, they used to have cow dung smoke, sambrani smoke. All these things would drive away the mosquito. Mosquitoes will just go away, that's all. They will not be killed. But latest this thing is to kill them by horrible poisonous fumes, which is actually poisonous even for human beings. So that is not correct.
But a lot of disturbance.
Yeah, they create disturbance, definitely. You have to keep your surroundings clean. Not only your home, but also the outer.
How they are unaware about fighting. Similarly, many times when we perform our services, we may kill unknowingly many insignificant creatures.
So that's why it is said, in knowledge if you do this, then it is punishable. But accidentally you do, you are not punishable like this description. Knowingly when you kill, it is very much wrong. It's punishable.
Is Hindi unknowingly cursed?
No. He is not unknowingly cursing. He is telling how this upstart can insult my father. That's exactly what he is thinking. How can he insult my father? What has happened to the father? Nothing has happened. Father is not even aware of that. A dead snake. It is not a live snake. Dead snake.
So situation he understood wrongly, and that is evaluating, then he starts.
No. His false ego is hurt. Brahmana. I am a Brahmana. My father is a Brahmana. False ego. Sort of false ego is cursing. What has happened? Nothing has happened. And a Brahmana is supposed to be forgiving and tolerant. That's a Brahmanical quality. Forgiving and tolerant. Prabhupada says, look at Arjuna. Yasyasti bhakti bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunais tatra samasate sura. All the good qualities are to be found in a pure devotee. They have harassed him and tortured him so much, the Pandavas. The Kauravas had done so much, Duryodhana. But when they did not give the kingdom, the Pandavas are reducing the request to 5 villages. And even that they are not giving, then war is inevitable. Even that they have not given, and still the battle is about to begin. He's telling, let me pardon them. How can I kill them? After all, they are my cousins. So Prabhupada says that Arjuna actually was not afraid of the Kauravas. He was not afraid of the Kauravas. Not afraid of death. Neither he was greedy for the kingdom. You see, on one side he is not afraid of death. Other side, he is not greedy for kingdom. So it's all because he's a pure devotee. That's why the conclusion of the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is, such a kind and soft-hearted person engaged in devotional service of the Lord is fit for receiving self-knowledge. If you want Atma Vidya, then the qualification is a devotee. Except a devotee, nobody else can get this self-knowledge. Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya, nobody else can get it. They may try, but they will not be able to understand or realize Atma Vidya. What is Atma? Only for devotees. And devotee means not external appearance. What are the qualifications in the heart? Inside, what is the qualification? That is devotee. Decorated with all good qualities. Titikshava karunika surda sarvadehina majata shatrava shanta sadhava sadhu bhushanam. Lord Kapila says, devotee has got these ornaments of these good qualities. The prominent ones he mentions. Titikshava, first quality of a devotee, foremost is tolerant. Then Suta Goswami glorifies Parikshit Maharaj. Later it will come. Devotees like Parikshit, even if they are tortured, they are insulted, they are cursed, they are punished, they are beaten, they never become angry, they never become frustrated. They accept, they tolerate. There is one such verse. And 19th chapter, this verse is there. I just read that verse and we'll close. The devotees of the Lord are so forbearing that even though they are defamed, cheated, cursed, disturbed, neglected, or even killed, they are never inclined to avenge others. They are never inclined to avenge others. This is wonderful quality of a pure devotee. This is 48th verse of the 18th chapter itself, first canto. Okay? We'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimadh Bhagavatam ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. Never miss any updates.